There were no decisions made in executive session. Forgot that part.
Yes.
Hey, Ryan.
So for the one thing, we have the emergency services coming in for that, but also really quickly, I wanted to talk to you guys. I got 2 bids for the ambulance. One is $262,770. The other one is $313,000.
What was the first one? I'm sorry.
262.
Okay.
262.8, and then
This is 2 different ambulances?
no, this is
And how much was
this is 2 different bids for the same. This is the one ambulance, but it's 2 different companies, 2 different bids. And the other one was $313,200. So we got these the end of last week. We've been trying to go through them. One, we want to do our due diligence and make sure that, because there's quite a difference here, that everything is the same in both. Narrow that down. I also just found out that they're going to open up the government stuff November 7th. And so that's going to be before your guys' next meeting. And so I really hate to do this, but I would like a few days to do our due diligence and go through this and get this narrowed down. And then maybe have a special commissioners meeting to go over this and make that decision before the November 7th deadline. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, I am.
This is just happening really fast, and I want to make sure we're doing it right. So,
Are they both like Ford chassis or Chevy chassis?
they're both Ford chassis, gas chassis. It's the box stuff that's kind of different. I did ARV. I asked them, our current ambulance, the 11A ambulance is a road rescue ambulance, which that company went out of business, but I asked them what the trade-in value would be, and insulting, $7,500.
For that ambulance?
Yes.
Wow.
And so and we can determine that down the road, but my thought is the chassis itself, maybe we can, like if the fire department needs a chassis for like a rescue or whatever, I mean, that's something we can look at down the road. Because the problem with it is the box. It's the lift system, the electrical and stuff in the box. Does that make?
Yeah. Well, you can't use it for a backup?
Well, I mean, if we keep it for a backup, we're gonna have all the same issues we currently have, and
Fix that old thing.
It won't get better by itself.
so, but yeah, this is just for one we're only ordering one ambulance, and so these bids are, but because of the price difference, I just wanted to, if you guys are okay with that, so.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, Lifeline is the cheaper bid, I take it. It's-
Lifeline is a cheaper bid,
And
and
there's-
our new ambulance here in St. Francis, the 7A, the newest ambulance we have is a Lifeline ambulance.
Do you, no problems? I mean, $50,000 cheaper, I just want to make sure that we're not cutting any corners.
No, we don't have
Okay.
any.
Okay.
I mean, she does it more than.
You
But-
wanna set a day for the special meeting now, or?
Probably should, or you.
I'm thinking Friday or Monday, I don't know. The 7th is Monday, right?
Monday, I would prefer not,
Okay.
but because of election stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're talking Friday, the 4th,
This Friday.
this Friday? Will you have it
Or
done by
Thursday.
then? Will you be ready by then?
Thursday would be better for May. How long do you think it'll be? It'll be
Like, could we
short.
do Thursday afternoon? It shouldn't be too long.
Okay.
My plan is to have everything like
Okay.
lined out and then make the decision so we know what to do on the 7th. Because right now, even if we order now, they are saying possibly a 2023, but more likely a 2024. So all of these are like 700 days out, even by ordering now, which is almost 2 years. So,
And they'll give us a price that far out.
so the price that they're setting, both of these say on here, the price cannot be guaranteed due to the uncertainty of chassis manufacturers releasing their new pricing and then based off of what they do there. So,
Maybe it'll be cheaper.
That's my other.
I'm sure.
I mean, what do you do? If we don't order, we keep getting longer and longer out, but if we order, we're still not guaranteed exactly what this is gonna.
Okay, I have no problem with that, but if it goes way up, do we have the option to back out?
Once you sign the
That's,
order.
yeah, well,
No.
what kind of, why sign a contract if they
Right.
won't give us a price?
Right. That's what I wanna hire now before we meet.
Okay, so you're gonna check into that.
I wanna check into that too,
Okay.
of like, if we sign this and then like the price astronomically jumps, can we get out?
So if our budget doesn't handle it,
Right.
I'm not saying we don't, I think we probably have the budget, but
Right. This is
I
making
don't
me.
feel real comfortable signing
No,
a contract
don't-
with not the price locked in.
This is the most nervous I've been ordering a vehicle ever.
I understand, and I don't blame you.
Did you set a time for Thursday?
Thursday,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
You good with that?
Is that all right?
Can you send us a reminder, please?
Yeah. Don't send, I never miss a meeting, so don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you're not Pinocchio.
Okay, so the other thing that, emergency services, we met last week, trying to get our emergency services department head meetings back on track. And Randy Nelson used to be the safety officer for emergency services when he was here. He left at the end of, or the beginning of 2020. COVID, everything else, we just haven't ever looked at replacing that position. We've been going on without it. We've had a few instances here lately on some bigger emergencies where that safety officer role would have been valuable. And the whole purpose of that role is we all get tunnel vision on big scenes of what it is we're doing. And the safety officer is that person with the whole thing, making sure all the first responders are safe, public safety, catching things of like, hey, we need to get all traffic shut down, we got people backing into the highway, that type of stuff. And so this was the kind of the outline of what Randy done. And I guess I just wanted to, we've talked about, we'll probably redo this a little bit. This person doesn't go to every call by no means. It's usually when they're requested hazmat scenes, structure fires, bigger incidents, or have catastrophic events as well. But even, just some of the car accidents, when they're getting ready to load a patient and that, and you still have cars coming by on the highway and somebody steps back, that type of stuff. It's just a key role. And I guess all department heads, we talked about it and everybody was in agreement that this is a gap that we need to look at. And so I guess we're here kind of from direction from you guys, if this is something you think we should do, is find somebody to fill this role or not, so.
I think it's a good idea.
Jump in.
You said it all.
Okay.
What do you think, Willa?
Yeah, definitely.
So how do we go about filling this position?
So that's also where we want, I guess, kind of your input on, we have a couple names that have come up within the group that would possibly do this, that have some, emergency services experience, hazmat experience, those sorts of things.
George Harper.
So,
George
But-
Harper.
I don't know.
Before it was, kind of a volunteer position, but, kind of like fire and that. And so I think if they're using their own vehicle and they're having to go to a scene, I think we should reimburse mileage for that. Because we don't have we don't have an emergency vehicle for them to drive or anything like that, and it's not every call. So,
You're thinking like one of the response vehicles, they couldn't use that, or that'll probably already be out there?
They could.
I mean, they could unless it's already gone. If everybody gets on scene and then they're like, hey, this is gonna be a while, we need a safety person, and they take their POV, that type of, so.
Yeah, because they would need the emergency lighting, wouldn't they, if they're gonna be out
So
there?
this position usually, this is, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel it's an emergency response position per se. I don't know that they
Okay.
need to be going 100 mile an hour to scenes and stuff. It's more, You know, they get there and they just start monitoring. It's kind of like myself, like I don't need to go 100 mile an hour to every scene, so.
I'd say it's more of a second responder
Yeah.
position than a first responder position, so.
Well, my feeling is if you people come up with a name, I'll be happy to endorse it. I think it ought to be you people find somebody you feel, I wouldn't have a clue what it ought to be.
Have to be somebody within your organization then?
Somebody
Is that what you're thinking?
that's familiar with everything.
Can we do an executive session?
Yeah.
Like
How long?
5 minutes?
Okay, non-elected personnel. I make a motion, we go into executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel.
Second,
First and second for 5 minutes of executive personnel.
Executive session.
Executive session for non-elected.
Aye.
aye.
Aye.